Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the 57th episode of The Supernova Show! And I am your host, Colton Roberts, and here I am, knowing what episode number it is. You know, we're here being professional, and we're not doing this remotely, and we're not going to have Robert rant for a few minutes or 30 or whatever it was. But yeah, today it's going to be a good show. We're going to talk about in the movie trivia report. We're going to do Friday Night Titans. We're going to do then we're going to talk some Halo episode 3 and some Moon Knight episode 2. And then I think we're going to call it a day. Yeah, and then of course I've got our main man, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson of the Supernova Show, Mr. Robert Kastner. Come on in, Robert.
If I'm the Rock, what is this little punum then?
Let's see. That's John Cena.
Oh, did you hear that? Even though you're a girl, you're John Cena.
Oh, okay. Then let's think of a. I'll think.
Just Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of another wrestler turned actor, but I don't think any.
Stacy Keibler. She wrestle?
Yeah, but I mean,
Ronda Rousey.
Not wrestle, but she became an actor before she became a wrestler. But
fair.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this was how's your week been?
It's been pretty long, but a little bit better than last week. My wife was out of town, and she just came back yesterday. So rolling around in the house with just cats can get very quiet, and the quiet is a weird sensation. So that's kind of strange. And any little noise in our house makes a lot of noises. You don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of what that could be. So you're just in your own head. So yeah, weird. But everything has returned to normal. It is the weekend, and what weekend it will be. So
yeah, I have felt the same way. Like whenever my kids and wife are not here, because sometimes they'll go to like Kentucky or Tennessee, especially back when I was working. She was, or not that I was working, like once I was working like somewhere where I actually had to be in there instead of like my home office. They would just go, and it was so quiet. It was so quiet. It was weird.
It's weird.
I hate every second of it. So
when I moved here, going on 8 years ago now, and I had my own apartment, it was nice. Like go to work, a lot of commute, come back. It was nice and quiet. I could do whatever. And then I met my wife. We started dating. I started living at her condo, and then we started living together, and then we got married. And then after that, any sort of extended silence is just deafening, as some people say, and it's true.
Yeah, I agree. So we have some new updates from some of the stuff we talked about last week.
What updates? What kind of updates, Colton?
Yeah, like Will Smith is not going to be able to go to the Oscars for 10 years.
10 years. I hope when this so like in 2032, which seems bonkers to me as an idea of a year, even though it's only 10 years away. I hope that we do like side by sides of him pre-ban and post-ban, because I want to see what he'll be in movies and stuff, so we'll see him in the public eye or whatever. But I just like him in the Oscars in 2022 versus him at the Oscars of 2032 when he's in his mid 60s. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's gonna be weird because like I mean a lot of organizations have dropped him from films in the last week.
So some of his films have halted in their production. Bad Boys 4, which is his franchise, it's halted, and then he had another Netflix movie. It was like Release or something like that.
He had his biopic that Amazon and Netflix were bidding on, and they both just withdrew their thing. And I'm just like, man, this
will be short-lived.
Yeah,
it'll be like a year or two, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, remember that Will Smith thing?" And he'll be back to doing Will Smith stuff. I don't think this will extend to the period of how long his ban is. I think it'll just be like a year or two, and then we'll forget about it. Something else horrible will happen, And by the way, people are right. As snobby as those stupid actors are, who when they got asked about, or like Michael Bay, when he was like, "I don't care about Will Smith. Babies are dying in Ukraine." That is true. There are much more pressing needs in the world than worrying about Will Smith's relationship with the Academy. But still, it's an interesting subplot that this thing keeps unraveling.
Yeah, it's definitely, and then of course Ezra Miller. Apparently WB is looking at things to do after Flash to see what they can do about with him, and I'm just like, man, like I don't know who they're gonna cast as a if they decide to redo the Flash, or are
What
they
about
just
Grant
gonna?
Gustin?
Well, like, all right, so I've seen so many people go on about that, but
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, it's not that he does a bad job. Like I've not watched The Flash in a long time,
I never
but
watched it. Hide nor
I
hair.
think I don't think it's a good show, and I don't think his campiness. It's good for the CW universe, but I don't think it would work really well in a cinematic movie. But I mean, who really knows?
Who
To be
knows?
honest.
People who are more well versed in it than I think he could do a good job. Kevin Smith thinks he would do a good job, and I know he worked on the Flash, but he would know. I would think. But yeah, no, it's funny that the moratorium on the reviews for Secrets of Dumbledore came out, and then the story after this Ezra Miller thing was just, oh, WB now feels like they got rid of the wrong person. Even though Mads Mikkelsen great, from what I understand, but they feel like the wrong person was had the kibosh put on them, given what's happened.
Yeah. So I have a question. If Credence survives Secrets of Dumbledore, do they
Okay.
recast him?
I think if the movie does gangbusters, as could potentially be, I mean, it only has a couple weeks till Doctor Strange comes out, and as we know, Doctor Strange pre-sales were the greatest thing ever since what Avengers Endgame, probably. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think maybe if that happens, then they'll look like, well, I mean, we'd recast one part. Why don't we just recast another? I don't know if they'll think that way or if they'll think, well, we did the recasting thing and it didn't bite us, but it doesn't look like the best decision from a human standpoint. So I don't know, but you never know. Yeah, they could possibly do it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I wonder how they'll explain it. Like, at least with Grindelwald, they can say, hey, he's been Colin Farrell, he's been Johnny Depp. He's just really good at being a what is it called? Mag. This is gonna bother me. The shapeshifters and what
You're
Tom
not talking about
says.
animaguses, right?
No, metamorph magi. I think that's what she's called. But
Oh, Tonks.
yeah, where she can change her appearance.
Yeah.
Real. But yeah, so they could do something like that. Just be like, yeah, not only is he a seer, he's this. But
I
I
think it
don't.
would be funny if it was just a different actor every movie.
Yeah,
I think they should just do that. They should just lean in. It's been 3 movies and it's basically been 3 different people, so you might as well just do it. Nothing against Mads Mikkelsen. Again, I love him. Just I think it would be a fun idea if he was just a different person each time. Not
yeah,
to mention he was a different person in Deathly Hallows Part 2 as well. So
yeah.
keeps going.
Well,
Train
and
keeps going.
Deathly Hallows Part One.
Yes, in the young boy images. Yes. So he's
Yeah, young boy and then old guy.
yes.
Uh, yeah, and which at least we see young boy in the Mirror of Erised.
We do. They
Yeah,
do call that back in Crimes of Grindelwald.
that's good. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that goes. Next
Mhm.
weekend's going to be a good time.
Yep.
But yeah, and I'm doing all my sharing everything on the internet.
Hear that, everybody? Colton's sharing things on the internet. So if you're watching this, and you know people who haven't been watching and you want them to watch it, the memes will be out there. So you can't use that as an excuse.
That is correct.
I'm looking at you through the internet portal. You know who I'm talking about. Nobody knows who I'm talking about. I'm really kind of staring and yelling into the void.
Yeah, last week we had Nick Tuhig on the in our comments.
I have to ask him about that. I forgot that had happened, and I need to ask it. Like, hey, thanks for checking out the show, guy.
Yep. Yeah, that was cool.
I very much enjoyed the fact that that had happened. Gives our show a bit more gravitas, even though he wasn't on it.
Yeah. Like anyone who I know watches it, I'm like, good work, team.
Thanks for watching. Ho ho.
That is correct. Okay.
Ho ho. We know Dancing with the Stars. Ho ho.
Well, I've shared it all to our Facebooks, so now I just gotta eventually at some point share it to Twitter, but we don't have to do that right now. We can cut my internet off so that it doesn't interfere with my stream.
Yep.
And we're good. Which, by the way, starting like in a few weeks, I'm gonna have fiber internet, and it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best. Like, I never thought, because I lived on a dirt road in the middle of BFE, North Carolina, and like I'm pretty happy about it. But yeah, it's been a good week. My sons played baseball today. They did not go home with the victory. They did last week, so that was good. But the last 2 nights I have been out in the cold because apparently the universe doesn't understand that it's April now. It's spring. You're supposed to be warm, North Carolina. What are you doing?
Yeah, you would think like the Earth temperature continually goes up every year because of our blatant disregard for the environment, but for some reason, like expectations of when weather's supposed to happen, also we've screwed that up too.
Yeah, like it's so weird that like I think we had the coldest winter without snow thing, especially around here, which I was happy about because, well, one, I don't care. I don't mind the cold that much. Like, typically, I walk around outside in a t-shirt and shorts pretty much now that I don't have to be like I can work from my desk unless I have to go like to a meeting with clients, then I have to dress up like a normal human being.
I don't understand how people do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I enjoy it because that's the way I make money. But other than that, yeah, like I can wear shorts and a t-shirt now 365 days a year, and I love it. But the last 2 days, I've been like, nope, I'm gonna freeze my butt off. And last night, I didn't wear a jacket. I froze my butt off. And then today, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna wear a jacket," but I still froze my face off. So that happens.
You need a face mask.
Yeah. I have a ski mask, but it totally makes me look like I'm about to rob a bank or blow up a bridge. So
we're living in a world where wearing masks now is the polite thing to do.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like it has 3 holes over my eyes and over my mouth. So like,
do you do the thing where you put the glasses on over that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like.
Yeah. Because if I do it the other way, then they fog up. I've tried both.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, all right, let's move on to talking about some trivia. I don't know if anything's going on fan league wise in the last week. I know I'm trying to let me check to see if it's posted.
What?
What is we were talking about it last week with the Ontol teams match
that got posted. Yeah, it was funny because I was talking to David and Joe, and somebody else mentioned, they were like, "Hey, you never put up that match," and David was like, "What?" Because he was just put up in the middle of last week, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to," and it ended up going up over the weekend. So
yeah, also, I don't know why I asked that. I watched that match.
Yeah.
because I was curious.
What'd you think of that match?
Man, they absolutely killed DigiDestin.
Well, I mean,
RJ is definitely the weak link there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you look at that match in the first round, Eli missed like 6 or 5, and RJ missed like 7. So, and Joe got a perfect round. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
what are you
and
gonna do?
I gotta remember something. Eli told me to tell you hello.
Tell
'Cause
me hello.
yeah, because I
Why?
was watching Galaxy Geeks, and I was like, they followed the channel now because we had that press conference for SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright,
I subscribed to their channel and I was
nice.
watching their talk about Schmodown, and
Cool.
I commented on. They were like, "Hey, we'll watch your show on Friday or
Okay,
whenever you post it." And I was like, "Yes."
there we
And
go.
then Eli was like, "Tell Robert I said hey." And I
Look
was
at
like,
you making inroads. I like it.
"Yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
hey,
what can I say? They beat Jake and I because I screwed up an MCU category. What are you gonna do? But honestly, I did watch that match, and I was like, man, if Jake and I just would have got Trek in that second round, we would have just got 1 extra point. We probably would have beat Joe and Eli, and we definitely could have beat David and RJ. That's how I looked at that match. I was like, damn it, we were right there. No, that was yeah. I mean, it was really just kind of a match of Joe versus David and who could take their team farther. And Eli was just the better companion than RJ was. That's what happened. So Winter Soldiers only had to win 2 matches to be the champions, but there they are. They are the champions now. And there is a teams tournament, a Bruin for the summer, I believe. Don't know how that's spaced out. I think it's 16 teams, but that's how that's going to be eventually sorted
yeah,
when that next pick.
yeah, I was about to say something, but my thing is, I hope they do a 16 team tournament because then I want to play. I want to play again. Like,
I'm gonna bet that you're gonna play again.
yes, I would assume so.
Yeah,
Even though like I can't really talk about it. So
can't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
yeah, I'm
I
not.
think no matter the result, you will be playing again.
Yeah, because but I don't. Yeah, like there's definitely less than 16 teams. So I would
Eh,
say,
I think
well,
there's like 18, honestly.
oh really? So there is a well, all right.
There are gonna be playing games, I believe.
Okay, I was gonna say minus Joe because Joe and Eli because they're the champion, so that makes
Yeah.
17. So unless I really, really sucked up my game, I think it will be
I
okay.
mean, there have been some bad teams who've played. There have been some good teams, but there have been some bad teams too. So that's what happened there. We had today, just dropped today, about like an hour or two before we started. The Jay versus Ryan Payne match happened, which the winner of that, I don't know if I want to go into the results of it because I don't know how many people who are watching this got to watch that yet. But
Yeah,
the winner of that match plays me. Spoiler alert, everybody. I'm 4-1, so I get to get back
and
in the picture.
he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like
I only lost to Joe in a title match at the end of the match. So
yeah, and hey Christian, if you're out there, this right here, this guy, yeah, that's the future Schmodown champion of the world.
no, thank
Uh,
you though. But
Yeah, yeah, like he can. If Mike Kalinowski can play in 3 divisions, this guy can.
wow,
Uh,
that goes without saying. I could definitely do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So the winner of the Ryan Payne Jay match plays me, and then the winner of that plays Mark, who, as we talked about, beat Brittany. And that will be a number 1 contender match. And the winner of that will then play David Garcia in a 5-round slugfest for the title. So that's how Ontol's shaping up. I think in singles and teams in Ontol, they're pretty close to getting to title pictures. I think, and we have the team. We have the I think it's Lights, Camera, and Action is the team's champion there, and then Jake is the singles champion. They just had a match, David and Payson, which is on the road, which is pretty high up on the road for who's going to get there. And then, yeah, and then the teams have been not as prevalent, but I know that that's sort of sorting itself out there. So that's Ontel in a nutshell.
Hey, and guess what? Out there, if you watch it and you like head up a fan league, please someone do Star Wars. I want to play.
Yeah,
I
they
wanna
just
play so bad.
that's kind of gone by the wayside.
I know. Like
There
it's the
used to
one
be
thing.
little hints of that out there. They got the Disney one, right? Like I forget
Like,
who runs the Disney one, but they have that one.
but it's so weird because like that's the league in the Schmodown that gets probably the most views, and there's not a fan league that's dedicated to that.
Uh,
Because if you
Give
put
it
Star
some
Wars,
time. I bet somebody enterprising will start one at some point.
yeah, because like if you put Star Wars in the title, like people are gonna see it just because it says it's Star Wars.
Well, that's why I think an MCU league should exist, but
Yeah, yeah, I agree as
or
well.
Marvel in general. I think you get so much mileage out of just Marvel,
Yeah,
or even Marvel and DC if you wanted to do that. I think you can get a lot of mileage out of that. So that's Ontel. Multiplex. Don't know if you had seen, probably hadn't, but they made the announcement they're doing the ladder thing for teams for fandom. They're working on ramping that up. I don't know when it's going to air, but that's sort of the summer series for that. In singles, our guy in our faction, Tony, played Cameron Redshaw in a number one contender match, and Cameron Redshaw ended up winning that match. I believe that aired. If I'm spoiling that, my apologies, but I'm pretty sure that aired. So Cameron's playing Jake for the title. And then they just had a match go up yesterday, which was Bullets Over Broadway, which is Kirk Kalikowski and Andrew Barr versus Wild Stallions, which is Brian Michaels and Joseph Olivas. And Wild Stallions won that. That was a number one contenders match. So they're going to play Kumite, which is Jake and Bill, for that title. So those title pictures are now set. I do not know when they will air. I assume within the next month, probably. But that's all been set. Fandom, they're just sort of working new people in, new teams, new people in, because we just had that title picture where Joe's the double belted champion now. So that's going to be a while before that gets ramped up again. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Those are kind of the two big leagues now, because Full Metal kind of doesn't exist anymore. It exists for doing classics and randoms, which, by the way, Mr. I don't watch stuff unless my friends are involved. Did you know that your buddy, Anthony Tisdall, hosted the classic last night?
I did not.
Yes. So I think you should give that a watch. It was a very fun time.
Okay, let me make sure my volume's still down. Because, yeah, that's like the worst thing is when you start playing a YouTube video and the volume's on, and then you have to worry about, oh, am I going to get sued?
Yeah,
But
legal ramifications. Woo-hoo.
at least, like, all the other times it's happened, it's me accidentally playing my own voice.
Yeah.
So as long as TMG doesn't sue me because I
Oh, that'd be fun.
myself, I would be so pissed. Like, we're the, like, headline show on their channel now, so
Are we really? I
Yeah.
guess are the only two consistent shows on this channel now us and Papa with Sports, Papa
Well,
with Sports, whatever it is.
yeah, and he does that's not even consistent anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like,
We're the only ones who do something every week now.
Yep, we're the only one.
Okay.
Like, they post battlegrounds matches.
Yeah.
But
I meant non-competition shows.
Yeah, we're the only, like, week by week show that
We did it. We bounced everybody out of there.
Yeah.
Show Talks, get the fuck out of here. It's up now.
Yeah.
Although that had a shelf life because they could only go so far. But I don't think they finished it, right? I don't think they got to.
Yeah, I don't think they
time. I say that, Aaron, I love you. You know, I did the show a couple times. I enjoyed that show a lot. I had to go back and watch so many matches, old matches, to do that. But it was fun. I took all these notes. I was very, like, keeping it prepared, like I was preparing for a match. But hooray for the Supernova show for being the bastion of consistency on TMG.
That's
And
right.
I guess I should mention we are still waiting to crown a TM Geek champion from what happened in the tournament. That's still
Yeah, we know who the winner is of the
we know
top.
the winner of the tournament is, and we know he's playing Joe.
Yeah, it was Tyler, right?
Nope,
No?
it was Antonio.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Okay, you should go back and watch the
I should go
content of
look
content of the channel that you're so gloriously talking
on.
about. And
Yeah,
that way,
yeah, I probably should.
yeah,
Um,
that's okay. No, just yeah. So it's Antonio versus Joe for the title.
yeah, and then I mean maybe Brittany in the wing.
Brittany in the wings. Thinking about that, it makes me sad again because I should have beat Antonio. Big ups to him, he beat me, but
And
I
you
should have beat
should have
him,
beat Brittany.
and I should have beat Brittany and got the Team Geek. I should have got that.
And you could have had 2 matches with Joe.
I've had enough with him, honestly. It's gonna keep going on and on for as long as we both want to do this. More than likely,
Yeah.
especially in like Ontal, because my record's always gonna be good there. It's never gonna not be good. And in Team Geek too, I'm 6-3. So what are you gonna do? But you know what? I lost to Antonio. I've only lost to people who've played in and been the champion, played in title matches and been the champion.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that. That's good. That's how I'm gonna look at it. So that's everything with the movie trivia report, I think.
Well, all right. So now we got Friday Night Titans.
Yes.
All right. So
Full disclosure, everybody, I have not watched it yet.
yeah, not today's.
Not today's.
Yeah. So I have put in my notes to tell myself to shut up because if we get too far into this week's Friday Night Titans, I'll feel bad.
Sorry, everyone. Just the rigors of the week. Just couldn't get it at this point. So apologies to everybody out there who wants to hear thoughts about current stuff.
So Jesse Swift challenged Brandon Hanna, and he
Yeah.
lost.
So I can't stand the Brandon Hanna
Oh yeah,
character anymore. Like it was cute maybe the first time, but it's so freaking annoying. I just can't. Like to me, it seems like just a completely different person. And I mean not a personality, like a literal different person. He sounds different. He looks different. He just seems completely like a separate entity at this point.
And all right, so that match was
I
not.
thought it would be better.
Yeah,
And by that I meant I thought that they would play better.
yeah, like I don't know.
Jesse really kind of blew it in the third round of that match.
And then well, and before that we had Jacoby and
Yeah, by the way, my favorite thing was just watching Jacoby do one of these promos. I was so happy.
yeah, storyline stuff where
Yeah,
like
I was just like, look at him there. To be honest, from certain angles, it didn't even look like Jacoby to me. I was like,
yeah,
what? From a side profile, he does not look like himself, honestly.
but yeah, like so they did that entire thing. So
Which was a fake out. Like his partner, who's his partner again? I blank on his name all the time.
His partner was crap. Former FCL champion.
Yep.
I don't remember for the life.
Okay. But that was like a, you know, Jacoby wants to get stuff together, but he's not actually going to get stuff together, right? There was an underlying theme of betrayal, I think, there.
Yeah, and then of course, like Ben Bateman wants to challenge Rick Radis.
Yeah.
But Radis says he must play in a team match, so it will be Rick Radis and Brother Lomas versus Ben Bateman, an opponent of his choosing, and then we have the Jesse Swift and Brandon Hanna match, which we already talked about, and Brandon Hanna won. And yeah, I mean, at least he's got a character now. I will say he has a character, which
as opposed to just being a pompous ass.
Yeah, and not good at trivia. Like at least now he's winning and has a character. So
I honestly thought he was better when he was at the beginning of the Hitman stage. Honestly.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I do like
more impressive then. This did not seem like that impressive of a win to me.
Yeah, I guess because that was back in like where they used to do like five ways, so you didn't really have to. And that was back when the league was easy as crap.
I
Um,
guess.
in
Yeah.
my opinion, like now, nope, I could not do IG.
No, yeah, it's a lot hard. I mean, it was what, 8 categories, I think,
Yeah,
when it started. So yeah, no, it's much harder. It just because of that, I guess he seemed more impressive. I mean, who did he lose to? Um, Chandru went on to be
yeah,
his champion.
yeah.
When you look at it that way, it's not that bad. But yeah, the most exciting thing to me about the Friday Night Titans, well, there were a couple things, but I really enjoyed the counter, the challenge counter, like this
Yeah.
how long Ben Bateman had to get a teammate. I knew it was coming. I knew it would end when it needed to end, but I just enjoyed it. I just like counters. Kind of like a 24 thing. You like when stuff's gonna come to a head and you know when it's gonna come to a head.
Yeah, but yeah, so they did the entire countdown, and
Mhm.
then Ben Bateman's in there, and he's acting like, oh, he's not gonna have a partner, he's gonna have to think, and then he gets a text message,
Yep.
and I gave a reaction to this because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm gonna start doing that. If there's something important, I'm gonna start doing reaction. It would help if I posted it on my YouTube channel because then I could pull it up right now and be like, this was my reaction. But I didn't recognize the music when it started playing, but when I heard the record, I was like, um, I mean, he's only been with two teams that would have that record because I don't think
Yeah.
Danger Zone.
Yeah. That's what gave it away. I was like, well, it's a team that he was a part of. And
Yep.
I doubt it's this one. So I was like, I think it's this. And then,
Yeah, I was like, it's not going to be who's the boss. I mean, it would be, but yeah,
no, I didn't even think about who's the boss.
well,
Honestly.
like I was thinking about the record when I heard that,
Mhm.
and I was like, well, Danger Zone didn't lose four times, but I was like, who's the boss? Might have lost four times, and
Uh,
I was just
they lost to they lost to
Shire
Shire
Wolves.
Wolves. They lost to damn it. Did they lose to like Odd Couple or something?
Maybe.
Okay. They might have lost 4 times. They might have
Yeah.
lost more than 4 times, honestly.
Yeah. So, re- uh, Andrew Guy came out and they
Yes, he
reformed
did.
the action, and then they started the match. And I will say, like I've said on the show, that when you're in round one and uh, I get more than like two questions right, then we have a problem. So
Mhm.
I knew Evil Dead,
Gotcha.
I knew Katherine Heigl,
Okay.
I knew Bewitched, I
Uh-huh.
obviously knew Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I knew
Yep.
Radio. So that was five, and I was just like, "What the crap is going
That's
on?"
why they had 3 perfect rounds and another person get a 9.
Yes, and I will say, like the match was like Andrew Guy, like as the dastardly one, might be the best character in the Schmodown.
He might be. I enjoyed it for the most part, but there was so much crosstalk. It was
It's so
insane.
like I love like you would never see that in the fan leagues. Like so much like battering to each other,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love it so much. Like
Okay.
it's so good. Like and then of course like after after the round two, I think yeah, after they had that challenge and it was you know, mi 2,
Such a silly thing.
and so they had the challenge, and uh Andrew Guy humps the desk,
He
and this
does.
is probably, so I wrote this down. um so Brother Lomas comes up with a joke. He's like, you will need to marry that desk.
Yep.
And it's quite possibly one of the funniest things I've ever heard. I spit up, my son spit up, probably for different reasons, but still. Um, like it was so good. It was
That
really,
was the best joke of the night by far. That's
yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah, and I will say, like, Brother Loomis is, I didn't really like him last season because he was
He's
like,
good I like him in person more
yeah,
than
I like him a lot more in person. And man, he's a lot taller and bigger, and
Yeah.
like he's pretty intimidating.
He's
Like,
an imposing figure,
yeah,
and him and Radis together are very strange.
which I found out like Rick Radis isn't his actual real name. I'm
Of
not
course
gonna
not.
say his
No.
actual real name in real life because I don't know if that's public knowledge. But
Yeah, no, that's not that is a moniker.
yeah, which is so weird that people don't use like if like at least Barbarian, like he uses a moniker that's just a title.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird that you would actually pick another name that's
And actors
not
do that all the time.
yeah. But yeah, like I know wrestlers do that a lot. Like
Yeah.
they'll pick so like I understand, but like for someone who like I was trying to look and see who I could book on the show, and I could not find it anywhere. But I
Could
had
not
to
find
ask
Rick Radis, eh?
yeah, so I found out what his actual name is, and I
Yes.
was just like, "Well, this is too late now." So, but yeah, so Team Action won by TKO, 32-31,
Yeah.
and so next or I guess now, it's probably actually over. Friday Night Titans is probably over, but, Rick Radis versus Ben Bateman,
Yeah.
tonight. And that's pretty interesting. And then, of course, we get to the "shut up, don't talk anymore" Colton part of the segment. So,
We're gonna do predictions.
yeah. Well, all right. So we'll do predictions for Rick Radis versus Ben Bateman because if you watch Friday Night Titans, the first match was not announced beforehand,
Yep.
so you have to actually watch the episode. And then there's some like really cool moments in that I will talk about next week. But yeah,
Okay.
Rick Radis versus Ben Bateman. Who do you got?
The boss.
I have Rick Radis.
Why?
Just because I think I really want that 3-0. Like I would love to pick Ben,
Yeah.
but I think a 3-0 going to a 4-0 is a good thing, and like I think he'll gain more from winning than
He would. Ben would have to probably win like 3 more matches to be
yeah.
in contention for something. No, I just feel like that team's match. I mean, Rick played well in the first round, but I don't think the subsequent rounds were that generous to him. And I think Ben, it sort of showed out that he was the superior player.
Okay, so
I know you could say maybe Guy was a better teammate than Lomas was in that match, but I just think Ben probably played the best of everybody on that day. So I just think that's a precursor to what the singles match will be like.
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And right now we're at what? It's 7-8.
7-8.
So you're probably going to go up to 7-9.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You picked Sam to beat the Barbarian. I thought that was crazy. But again, had I known that 4 years off doesn't really matter, then yeah. If I would have seen like a warm up match, then I would have had more faith.
but yeah, yeah, I guess we'll see. That will be interesting, or it could be us. If I tie it, I'm gonna be so happy.
We tied.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, buddy.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, so I think that's all we got for trivia stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that everything just happens on Friday Night Titans and there's not really anything else.
Now I will say, like, I don't know about you. I've heard a lot of people, like especially around the fan leagues, who only watch the stuff that comes out on Tuesday and Wednesday.
No, I watch the thing. I watch it all.
Okay. Because like I also prefer to watch the thing because
Yeah.
like the storylines kind of are like, I mean, we know that 2 weeks ago, like Christian came to Shazam and was like, "You're gonna face corruption," and then Coy was like, "Okay, they can do that, but if they win, Corruption has to break up.
Stipulation match.
Yeah, so unless you know that storyline, you're gonna hop into that match and be like, when was this? When was this a thing?
I mean,
Why did they get the title match? Like, I'm sure they'll like.
they would do the do a preamble, right? They would
Yeah.
probably throw that in the package, the video package.
Yeah, but if you're just like, I wonder how it will be like if you just watch the Tuesday and Thursday or Tuesday and Wednesday cut of it, where it's just a match. Will that
Yeah,
preamble stuff be on there? And
I'm sure people, if they are into the Schmodown, would probably look at the team landscape and go, "Yeah, Corruption makes sense. They were just in a title picture,
yeah,
and they weren't the last people in the title picture, a la King Arthur." So
yeah, and like that's also one of those weird ones where like I hate that King Arthur's not like it's one of those things where unless you live around LA or you can go to one of those shows or whatever, like it's gonna be a while before we see anyone like frequent.
outside the main
Yeah.
Schmodown roster, if you will.
Yep. But I mean, I guess that makes them more like special attractions, right?
It does. It makes it more of a spectacular.
Yeah.
In that case.
But yeah, that's all right. That's the end of the movie trivia report.
Yeah, I think we've given it its just due.
Yeah, all right. So let's snap this to Halo. I think we should throw a spoiler tag up there.
Yep, episode 3.
Yeah,
called
hey,
Emergence.
Yes, I really like this episode. Like
I rather enjoyed this episode as well.
the last two, I have been kind of questionable on.
I liked the first episode, but it had some down moments, especially the CGI, as we talked about. I found episode 2 boring as hell. I did not like it at all. So this was a nice refresh.
Yeah, I liked all the stuff with Cortana being created because like that's all stuff from like you don't ever hear about that really in the games. That's all stuff from the books. And just like
that was so crazy. I mean, you harvest yourself, right, to be a clone. And that scene is crazy. And then before that, you had like the doctor going to sexually assault the clone, which I don't know if that will come back. I assume not. But that was an interesting little subtextual thing. And then, yeah, I liked, when they showed Cortana, the visuals of it in the trailer, I know people were mad because it's wholly unlike what it is in the game. But as the episode went on, got used to it, and I enjoyed her.
Yeah, like I remember seeing in the trailers and being like, well, yeah, it's not going to look like the way it is in the game because she looks like a hollow woman.
But people don't give a crap about realism. They care about how it.
But now that we have actually seen an actual naked woman in the show, I'm like, okay, I could see why people would be frustrated that whatever. Like I thought, okay, I mean, it happens. But yeah, like
and then that was followed up with a naked man in this episode.
Yeah, and which was so weird because like I saw that and was like, okay, there's a naked dude on my television. I'm so glad my kids.
Pablo Schreiber put in so much work. There was not going to be a situation where he wasn't going to be barren at all.
Yeah, and then I love the mirror reflection.
Yeah,
there's just the part of the mirror just covers up his dong, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
yeah,
well, whatever.
I don't know if they could do that on Paramount. I assume they could, but I don't know if they would want to.
Yeah, because I guess Paramount owns the Nickelodeon, and like if you have Paramount Plus, you might be watching Fairly Odd Parents because that's what my kids watch it for. So like, they might not want to show dongle, and guess what? That happens. But like, I really liked this episode. Like,
I liked it a lot, and you know why I liked it?
Why?
Because he removed his pellet.
Yeah,
he has emotions now, which was nice because I want to see Pablo Schreiber act. I don't want to see him be a hollow robot, and he's not anymore, which is good.
Yeah, that's like one of those things where like it's weird because this obviously is taking place during the course of like the first Halo game,
Yeah.
kind of. But like Master Chief doesn't really get emotions and stuff until like later games.
Yeah, but you can't wait that long.
Yeah,
And Pablo, you probably couldn't interest Pablo Schreiber in taking the role if he doesn't get a chance to be an actor.
and I guess because like also like in the games you are the character, so you
Yeah.
can't really show too much emotion or show the person's face because you don't want to like bypass like what the
The voyeurism of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like, even, like, in the scenes in the games where he does take off his helmet, like, he's hooked up to a big machine, and it, like his helmet comes off, and then it snaps to black. Uh,
Yeah.
so, like, I understand, like
Mm.
but, I liked all his memories of his family and, like, the other artifact, and,
I
like
liked him coming around with Cortana as well.
yeah.
I like that too. I like how they're I know it seemed quick that he was more accepting, but I think given where he is in his state of being with getting comfortable with the idea of these memories, I'm more okay with it. And I just like that, everybody seems to be against him. Even the doctor, which is using Cortana as a rogue agent against him, you don't feel like anybody's on his side. You feel like Cortana can get to that point, even though right now she is a slave to the doctor doing her bidding as well. So uh, that was cool. Did you like when I was watching this? There was a blatant part that reminded me of A New Hope. Do you know which part I'm thinking of that reminded
Um,
me of A New Hope?
I'm trying to think, no?
Okay. There's the part where she's trying to steal the ship, right? And Bokeem Woodbine comes in, and then she basically hoodwinks him into taking her along, promising that he will get paid. And all I could think of was that scene in the Death Star. Not to mention Harrison Ford wearing full stormtrooper armor. This dude's wearing armor. Is like, she's rich. Don't worry, you'll get your money. And he's like, I better. He's like, you will. That part reminded me so much of that scene. I was like, that seems like it was blatantly ripped from Star Wars. You got that deuterium money or whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
And I
cool.
will
And
say,
she's
like,
a princess too, on top of that, which I just thought it was a blatant Star Wars rip, but that's fine.
yeah, and, like, I will say, like, I like that that character's in here, like, he's not in the games at all, but he
Yeah.
is in the books, and,
Okay.
like so, like, I like that, but yeah, like, I know you said a few minutes ago, like, I didn't read the sexual assault scene at all.
Oh, I
Um
mean, he was going in for a kiss. She was tied up to a freaking table.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get that at all, but,
Okay. But
it was so weird because like
he's a creep is the point.
oh, yeah,
It's
I
like
agree,
being an
but
assault.
yeah, like, having her talk to herself was so because like
I thought that was really cool. I like that
yeah,
idea.
and I like that they established like oh hey Dr. Halsey wants this AI to do its thing, but she's not willing to sacrifice her own life,
Yeah.
so she has to do this flash clone, which the UNSC has uh, made illegal, but she's going to do it anyway so she can get this AI.
Yes.
Because before, if you wanted to make a AI like this, you'd have to sacrifice your own life
Mhm.
to create
And
that.
and I like that she had the conversation, or she had the thoughts about what it would be like to have a one-on-one dialogue with herself,
Yeah,
the clone. I like that they established that this has a historical context to her, which is cool as well.
yeah, but
Uh,
yeah,
I mean, the stuff with what what's the character's name who lives with the Covenant?
oh,
It's like the wise one or what? I forget what they call her.
yeah, crap. Okay, I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah, I mean those scenes I could take or leave. Honestly, I was just like, how many times do we have to see in a show or a movie where somebody comes upon something and there's one survivor, and they're just like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. There's only one survivor on this ship. That person must be a victim. No, shoot that person right as soon as they come in. And then she just destroys the whole ship with these weird slug things, which didn't look great either. But I think the heart of this will obviously be Master Chief and Cortana. And I need to see how the Covenant storyline of this sort of plays out, but I'm not wholly interested in that.
Yeah, I'm trying to load IMDb, but yeah, I actually really like obviously she's gonna they know that she's infiltrated the ship now because she was speaking. Um, and I'm just like, good. That should be totally a thing. And yeah, it's good times.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think this is the best episode of the 3 so far, so it gives me hope about how the remainder of it will go. I still think it's too long episode to episode. This one seemed the shortest, even though it wasn't. But those are some basic logistical problems I have with it. But again, I don't mind it overall.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the show. I don't.
Her name is Maquis. Is her name?
Yeah, I just don't remember what. And I tried.
But her name is Charlie Murphy, which is hilarious because every time I see that, I he died a couple years ago. But that's a lady. Which
Yeah, I'm trying to find what they call her, but I don't know what it is at all. And I'm just like, okay, it's fine.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Um,
Did you know the guy who directed I just looked at this. The guy directed TMNT, or not TMNT like the animated, but the 2014 live version. Directed some episodes of this. I don't think he's directed any of the ones that have happened so far, but I just came across that and I was like, Jonathan Liebsman, I know that name. He's the only one of the directors I know, but I don't know what that will say. The future of the show. Just that he was.
Well, since we're already on TV, let's move a little bit on to a different TV show.
A show I care about much more.
Yes, I will say, this is a good show.
Yeah, it's good.
I have so many questions. All right, did you know, the QR codes that you see in the episodes?
Yeah, what about them?
All right, so apparently if you stop and you scan them, they open up the Marvel comics site, and they give you the first issue that Moon Knight had ever been in.
No, I thought about it when he goes to the storage locker and there's a big QR code. I was like, I wonder if that opens anything. Yeah, I thought about it, but it didn't cross my mind to actually pause it.
Yeah, because I knew that was the case in episode 1. So I thought, oh, this is another QR code. So I thought, oh, maybe they're just going to slowly release Moon Knight comics throughout so that you can kind of get an idea. But yeah, I liked the entire interaction between him and now his Mark's wife. And they're doing their entire thing about she's trying to explain to him what's going on. She's like, put on the suit, and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then he finally does it, and it's
he says summon the suit. What does that mean? That was my favorite part. Honestly, that was my favorite line. I don't know why it made me laugh so much, but I was like, summon the soup. What a freaking idiot.
Yeah, and then there's the scene where Steven's in the place with what's his face? Yeah. And he's like, what's he saying?
Yeah.
And he's explaining that yeah, the God that you serve he takes too long. Now he knows the god I serve is a goddess, maybe?
Yeah, goddess. Yeah.
Yeah, the goddess I serve, she just knows if you're gonna sin at all, and we just go ahead and take care of that.
And he was like, "So you murdered children. That's what you are, a bunch of child murderers." It's kind
Yeah,
of where I draw the line. I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of where you should. If you ever watch Minority Report, which is 20 years old this year, weirdly,
yeah.
you know that it has inherent problems, the idea of pre-crime.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have any theories about the show.
No, I honestly have been trying to keep myself away from that.
Okay, so I heard one the other day, if you
Mm.
wanna hear about it.
Yeah. Oh, before you do that though, we had another image. The only like real connection Moon Knight has to anything else is the GRC
Yeah,
posters everywhere, which at least connects this in the timeline around Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we know it exists parallel to what happened after the snap, right? So that's good.
yeah.
You go ahead with your theory.
But, alright, so you know how, like, every time he goes to the museum to, like the guy calls him Scotty.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like,
Still
does he
Steve.
have a third personality that we haven't met yet?
That's a good question. I assume there
'Cause
might be. Uh,
well, because, like, Mark is so dedicated to his wife,
yeah,
and Steven does not remember asking the girl out and asking her out to stay because he's a, vegetarian or a vegan.
vegan.
Um, so he doesn't so and the security guy knows him as
Yeah.
Scotty. So
Still
I'm wondering,
Steve.
is there gonna be a third person in there who's just like, "Well, I didn't get to go on my date, so I'm depressed," and he hasn't been forthcoming yet? Or, like, it's
It's a
because
good
I
question.
really like the dynamic between, Steven and Mark,
I
but
like it a lot too. I thought it was very contentious, and then we had the Mr. Knight, which I just learned about. Mr. Knight when he puts on the suit, that's a
yeah,
different persona of Moon Knight. And then they have like we've trying. I know I meant like an armor suit, not like a demented Colonel Sanders. I enjoyed that.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and then there was what else did I? Yeah, I mean, I used to. My wife turned me onto a show called United States of Terra. We watched all of it. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I have.
Okay, Tony Collette plays a character who has multiple personalities, and they come out. They have sort of their own characteristics, and they even have their own episodes, basically. And there would be situations where new ones would come about every so often, to the point where you would just expect there'd be new ones that were uh, generated from portions of trauma. So I would not be surprised if there was other identities living inside Steven slash Mark, which we're now made to believe that Mark is actually kind of the main persona. Steven's kind of an offshoot.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that because obviously, so if it's Steven's body, I know a lot of people had like a big uproar. Like, is it weird that Steven is married and probably has like, is married and doesn't remember any of it with this woman, but she knows, like, it's like the Wonder Woman. Like people talked about like uh Steve Trevor took over that dude, and then Wonder Woman immediately slept with him.
Yep.
And you're like, if that was reversed, if it was uh,
A woman going into another woman's body and the dude immediately slept with her.
yeah, it would be an uproar. But guess what?
I don't know about that.
Well, I think like with how our culture is now, like I think it would kind of be
I
like,
think if there was a forcible nature to it, but I think in the context, I think people are smart enough to recognize in the context of mysticism that there's some leeway.
yeah, it's weird. Like and like I feel so like if Mark goes away, I feel sorry for the girl because guess what? She spent all
I
this
don't
time.
think Mark's going away. I think the question is, will Steven go away?
Yeah, like at least if I mean I don't want Steven to go away too
No,
either because
Steven's the best part. He's
yeah,
hilarious. It's like,
but
is that you crying over there? It's like, Little bit. That's
Yeah,
he's
like
so funny. I love it.
the their god there says that once he fulfills his oath, he'll release him. So I assume Mark's gonna go
I
away.
don't think there will be a release of anything.
Yeah.
I think what will end up happening is that Ethan Hawke and Amit will be defeated. And
Yeah.
I kind of think of it now, granted, don't take this as word as bond, but I kind of think like a Ghost Rider thing will happen where he will just sort of use his powers to try to get back at Khonshu and he won't relinquish them. That's kind of how I see that continuing, or that
Yeah.
it'll be a never-ending struggle between master and slave, sort of
Yeah.
employer and employee, if you will. That's kind of how I look at how this will end. This series.
Yeah. But I mean, even if however it works, even if both of them just stay in the body, I still kind of feel sorry for his wife because, like,
I
it's,
mean, it sound so she was weird to me, by the way. She's good and I liked her, but it was weird. It's like, don't you remember our trips we took, our adventures? It's like, who calls your trips adventure? Like, what are you talking about? It seemed trumped up without probable cause. Is the point? It's just no. I mean, I think at this point she kind of realizes that there is something amiss. I'm surprised she didn't recognize that there was something amiss before. There were no reflections of Steven at all in Mark, like at any point in the time of their relationship. Seems nuts.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah. Like, I wonder how long Steven has not been a part of his own life.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, he would wake up and he'd be in America, I assume that. But I mean, how in the world do you like live an entire life in, Britain and live an entire life in America and not let your other self be like, "Oh, I have to leave now because uh the other person needs to be let in." But
Mhm.
um
I mean, did you ever watch Heroes?
uh very little.
Okay, Ali Larter played a character similar-ish to this, where she had her main persona, and then she had another persona, which was really kind of like the super strong one. And then she had a third persona that she created, but it was basically from like members of her family. And they would have conversations in the mirror and they would talk about being trapped. So when I look at this relationship, I think of Ali Larter and Heroes, honestly. And by the way, I needed to say this. I got vibes when he was in the Mr. Knight suit with the mask as it was. His mask reminded me of a combo of The Mask, Jim
Yeah.
Carrey mask, and Deadpool.
Okay, yeah.
Because like how when he expresses when he talks about like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Steven without a V. Like his expressions on his face were very Deadpool like, but it was like moldy. It had like a flowiness to it and like a kind of like a 90s comic book makeup-y vibe like The Mask. And I felt like you combine those two together and you paint white and you got the Moon Knight mask basically.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very interested. Like, it's a really good show.
I
Like,
like it a lot. And from what I understand, critics have had the first 4.
yep.
Haven't seen the last 2, but the people who produced the show say that episodes 5 and 6 are bonkers, are batshit crazy. And I'm like, well, it's already kind of been batshit crazy. So the idea that it will be even more so seems insane to me.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. And as I saw in another review, everything in the trailers have already been we've seen it, essentially. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 other shots, but basically everything in the trailer we've seen in the first 2 episodes. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure what's gonna happen.
Yeah, which I like that. Like, I
I
like
would prefer that.
yeah.
It's the prep, like, because you don't want to leave that hanging out because then you'll just be thinking about where that comes in, right?
Now, of course, it's not done yet, but once episode 6 rolls around, if it's as good as these 2 episodes have been,
It'll be the best MCU show, probably by leaps and bounds, I bet.
yeah, I still wonder if it will be better than WandaVision. I
It'll
love
be
that
better than
show.
one. I bet it will stick the landing better than WandaVision. I
Yeah,
have faith in that.
well, yeah, as long as they don't, like, pull a boner joke at the end.
I didn't like the CGI fight with her and Agatha at the end. I thought it was very
Yeah, like
empty third act nonsense, but
yeah,
whatever. And then they just left Agatha alive because she was a popular character, and so she could get her own spin-off show.
well, that's a weird thing, like, I wonder if they thought that she was gonna be a popular character
I think they knew what they had in Catherine Hahn, and I think they wanted a lifeline in case.
in
And then
case.
if it didn't work out, she's just off on the side. It doesn't matter. She's just away. So
Yeah,
it's
but yeah, I am definitely interested, like, you're right, this could be I was gonna say not just
Oh,
I was gonna say it's the best thing in at least in phase 4 so far.
it'd be hard to beat Spider-Man for me, but
One, like, I still think it's the best Spider-Man movie that they've ever made, but that could also be my I understand that I might be biased there.
recency bias.
Yeah, well, not only that, but because Toby and Andrew came back.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts for No Way Home. We just if you haven't seen No Way Home and you're only watching this for
Oh
this,
my gosh,
I'm so
watch it.
sorry. I am so sorry. But yeah,
God's sake, help yourself.
like all of the things that happen in that movie, like even the the big cameo at the beginning of the movie that happens. Like all these things like built up to me really, really enjoying the movie. But I understand it could be that I just really enjoy those things and that's who I am.
Also, 2/3 of Shang-Chi is really good.
Yes, I agree.
And maybe you could say like 3/4 or 4/5, but 2/3 at the very least is very
And
good.
I will say about 30 minutes of Eternals is really good.
Yeah, there's parts of Eternals I don't mind, but the whole slog of it is just a slog.
Yeah, and it's too long.
It's so long.
Like it's weird. Like
Just,
it
just
felt
do little parts of history for each movie. Golly. Don't try to traverse 5,000 years of human history or whatever.
yeah, like it's so weird that the Batman did not seem long.
The first time it didn't seem long to me. The second time I felt it a little bit more.
Okay, well I've only seen it the one time.
Okay. I didn't mind it being that long. I'm just saying I felt the length a little bit more
And
now that
did you hear how long Doctor Strange 2 is going to be?
2:45, something like
Yep.
that.
2 hours and 6 minutes.
Holy shit, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And
Even the Michael Bay movie Ambulance is longer than that.
like I am really surprised. Like that's one of those things where I'm like, good. Like I do like shorter movies now that like, I'm a dad and because that means there's less of a chance that I have to go out and get popcorn and drink refill because I'm completely miss Andrew Garfield coming through the portal because
Wow, that stinks.
because my kids needed that and my wife was like, I'm gonna go get it or you're gonna go get it. And I was like, okay, I'll just go get it because I know I'll hurry because she was pregnant and she's not gonna be able to run through the theater. I absolutely did. But yeah, I totally missed Andrew Garfield coming through the portal. He was just on screen, and I was like, "Oh!" And then as soon as I saw him, I knew Toby was
You'll
coming.
never get that moment back.
Yep, I will not. But it was fine. I've seen it. Like I own the movie now, and I've watched it a few times. And every single time they both come on screen, I'm like, "Oh!" And I can't
Donna's
wait.
trailer of that is funny because they talk about like such a great experience. And they talk like they show that and they dub in clapping, but they're like it's much different when you're at home watching by yourself and it's just silent.
Yeah.
Just true.
Like I cannot wait to show Ezra all of these movies.
How is little Ezra doing, by
He
the way?
is great. He's sleeping really well through the night.
Hey, good for
Um,
him.
yeah, he sleeps about 6 hours straight, and I love
Whoa,
it.
that's pretty good for
So I only have to wake
newborn.
up like one time, and
That's
it's
pretty good.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing really well. Uh, yeah, he finally weighs more than when he was born because typically like they lose a little bit of weight, and he finally has now surpassed his birth weight, so that's good.
Good.
Yeah, he's just cute as can be. I mean, I might be a little biased, but I did make him, so
As one is apt to do. Yeah, I understand.
yep. But yeah, he's good. My wife's recovering well. Uh, yeah, like it's good times. Like
Good.
it is kind of unfortunate that as my son is being born, uh, Mr. Miller is doing ridiculous things. So I hear all the time because I watch a lot of movie shows be like, Ezra's a piece of crap. And I'm like, oh, my son.
Yep. Yeah, I got to deal with that.
Hey, but no. If anything, it's named after the Bible or the Star Wars character, not the stupid.
Maybe by the time Ezra, your son, is, cognizant of things, maybe there will be a live action Ezra Bridger, and that's someone he can glom onto. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Even if not, like I just show him the car. Like he's
It's
gonna
true. You could
he's
do
gonna
that.
watch Rebels. So
But no, I think I don't disagree that Moon Knight could be the best Phase 4 thing.
yeah, like
It's just Spider-Man's a hard thing to top, and I do like Shang-Chi a bit.
yeah,
But I've very much enjoyed. It's my favorite thing to watch during the week now. among
yeah.
the other things I watch.
I'm trying to think. Like I think I'm still not more excited about this than I am Lord of the Rings, but it's like the fact that this goes right into Miss Marvel, that then
Mhm.
goes right and goes back to back with Obi-Wan, and then by the time Obi-Wan's done, we'll have Lord of the Rings, and then also we're gonna have House of the Dragon. Like we're not gonna run out of like I know you're not gonna watch House of the Dragon, or are you?
We're going to watch Game of Thrones at some point. So House of the Dragon, maybe. If,
Okay.
but it probably won't be when it comes out. We probably won't be far enough along then.
Okay. Yeah, because like so this year for content, it's gonna be good times. But yeah. So let's it's been a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed our time together, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a little it's been an exhausting day. Like
Yeah. I'm going to, I don't know about you, but I'm going to rewatch Sonic the Hedgehog 1 in preparation for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which, if everybody doesn't know, has come out this weekend, and go watch it because it has Tails and Knuckles and Chaos Emeralds, which are all the things I ever wanted.
yeah, and it needs to make all of the money so we can get a third one. Because guess
Did
what?
you hear that? Did you hear that guy wants to make a Super Smash Brothers movie?
Ooh, okay.
I don't know how that would work, but he said he wanted to. So,
Yeah.
okay. And I was like,
don't
would
know
this
how that
feature like the
works.
Chris Pratt Mario and the Charlie Day Luigi?
And I will say, like, I know when Uncharted came out, you still haven't seen that, right?
I have not. No.
So we were gonna talk about best video game movies of all time.
Yeah.
We were going to, and then we just never did. So maybe
You
next
got.
week.
I mean, you were having your kid was going to be born and other stuff was coming up.
Yeah.
So it just didn't happen.
Yeah. So
Apologies, to everybody, if you're wondering about my take on Uncharted. Play the games. That's my take.
yeah. So like maybe we can do that next week. Is we can talk about is Sonic 2 one of the better video
Yeah.
game movies of all time? Like if it's
All I know, Colton, is if there is not a situation where Knuckles is fighting Supersonic, the movie's done for me.
well, honestly, I don't want them to introduce Supersonic.
No, I do.
like I want that to be like a third movie thing.
No,
Oh, okay.
they have Chaos Emeralds in it. They're better, at least if it's not in it, there better be a tease for it.
Okay, I could agree with that. Like if
Okay.
it's a in credits thing or anything.
Something. I need yellow swoosh back hair. I
So
need it in my life.
yeah,
All I ever wanted as a child playing Sega Channel, all the different songs.
but yeah, like me and Amaru is going to be on in probably 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get him on.
We'll see. See if he's cool, if he's too cool for us.
Well, he said he should be available, but now I just have to make sure the PR team approves of it because things happen. But yeah, like so that should not be a problem at all. But yeah, like we got some good weeks of stuff coming up, and yeah, we'll talk
Got
about
so much Halo, so much Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Secrets of Dumbledore, all kinds of stuff coming. Everybody out there in Supernova Show land, don't worry. We will not be bereft of content.
That is correct. You won't have to worry about any 30-minute monologues of me just talking to myself because we are dumb. We don't have content. We're gonna have content. Yeah, it's gonna be good times. But yeah, let's go ahead and just sign out and.
Hold on, just real quick. In the course of us doing the show, I did have a match come out in Multiplex Warzone. There was a advertisement for it on the Facebook channel, so if you want to watch that singles match I played, please go ahead and do so.
Yep, and yeah, definitely do that, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Colton Roberts 8 and follow the show at Supernova_show. And yeah, that's the end of that.
Don't forget to tip your virtual waitresses, everybody out there in the Supernova Show landscape. Let's go.